Hi, welcome to Magical Living Coaching. This is Marianne Candido. I am here to tap on our weight loss issues. And today we are going to talk about emotional eating. Are you an emotional eater? I bet a lot of us are. So think about some of the emotions that trigger you to eat bad food, to overeat, to eat when you're not hungry, just that emotional trigger that when that emotion hits, you always go to the kitchen. Okay, to handle the emotional stress. One of mine is depression, and I definitely, when I get in low moods, I tend to reach to food first. I don't know why I do it. I guess we can maybe explore that, or just the fact that food has always been a comfort food for me. So if I'm in a low mood or anything hormonal is going on with me and it brings my mood down to a low point of being kind of bummed out or even a little depressed, I tend to choose food to comfort me. And what it actually does is make me feel worse in the long run because I'm adding extra calories and extra food that I wasn't hungry and now I am eating it, and which makes me feel even worse. So it's like keeping that vicious cycle going when we don't want to eat to begin with, and then we're angry with ourselves after eating. So we can explore that too. Are we comfortable being angry with ourselves? Because then there's no that accountability. Sure, let's be angry with ourselves, but let's not do anything about it. It's easier to be angry with ourselves than to do the work to lose weight and get healthy and get fit, right? So there's so many things we could explore with this. So why don't we go ahead, think about which emotion you want to first tap on and see what things come up for you during the tapping phrase. You might see a past event that started it all, or that was one of the things that led you to doing this, and then you'd want to tap on that event. So let's just go ahead. We're going to tap on the global issue right now and see where that leads us as far as the event. Okay, so I'm going to start off with depression, I'm going to say it's a 10 because when I feel low, I first thing I do is eat, so it's always that presence is there when I do get kind of low. So, okay. Even though I eat when I'm depressed, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I eat when I'm depressed, and I don't want to, but I still do, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my first reaction is to eat when I am depressed, I still deeply and completely accept myself. And if you notice, I did use a lot of emphasis. Emphasis is important when we're doing the setups phrases in the beginning. It is really important to place emphasis on our words because that is how we are truly connecting to that emotion. Okay, so there, then you can put emphasis in when we do the tapping on the reminder phrases as well. Okay, this depression when I'm eating. I eat when I'm depressed. I really don't like this part of myself, but I eat when I'm depressed. I don't know why I eat when I'm depressed. I really hate that part of myself that I eat when I'm depressed. I eat when I'm depressed. I eat when I'm depressed with no regard for what I'm eating. I just eat. It really makes me upset that I have to choose food to soothe myself when I'm depressed. Okay, and I'm going to do the turnaround phrases, okay? And that's the more of the affirmations that we use afterwards. It is optional, and sometimes it really helps kick in and bring that SUD level down a bit, okay? Okay, I'm ready to release this depression eating. Depression eating doesn't serve me. It just makes me more depressed. When I eat when I'm depressed, I feel worse about myself. I want to feel better about myself, so I'm ready to release this depression eating now. Depression eating doesn't serve me anymore. I can find other ways to soothe myself when I'm depressed. Aromatherapy. I love aromatherapy. There's so many uplifting scents, like citrus scents, are physiologically lift me when I'm depressed. Exercise and taking a really nice walk in nature always makes me feel better. I want to do that instead when I'm depressed instead of eating. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and evaluate my level. It was a 10, and I would say it has dropped. Let's see where it has dropped to. It did not go down to 0, so we're going to do another round of tapping to see where it is at this point. I'd say it's at a 3. So we're just going to go ahead and do another round and see where that brings it to, okay? Even though I still have this remaining need to eat when I'm depressed, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still have this remaining need to eat when I'm depressed, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still have this remaining need to eat when I'm depressed, I still deeply and completely accept myself. This remaining need to eat when I'm depressed. This remaining need to eat when I'm depressed. I was always a very sensitive child, and I used to eat when I was depressed. I was more sensitive than most people in my family, so I ate when I was depressed. I was told I was too sensitive whenever I was depressed, so I would eat. This being told that I'm just too sensitive made me eat. That little bit left of eating when I'm depressed because I'm too sensitive. This remaining bit of eating when I'm depressed because I'm too sensitive. Okay, so that led to something for me. As you could see, it was this sensitivity on my part. I don't know if you've ever heard of the book, the Oversensitive. Are you a highly sensitive person? That's the book. And I definitely am. And I think as a child, I remember my parents telling me, oh, you're just too sensitive. You're just too sensitive. What does that mean? You're just too sensitive. So rather than have any tools to deal with my sensitivity, my empathy for others, I would feel tremendous pain when others felt pain. So I had to learn how to cope with that sensitivity and that empathy. And what I did was I soothed myself. Actually, I drowned myself with food, the emotions. And that's, I think, a key part of where it came to. No one had any tools for me how to deal with my sensitivity. There were no books out there, I don't think, at that time about it, about how to deal with your child's sensitivity or a child that has heightened levels of sensitivity. So I think that in turn led considerably to my emotional eating because I had these heightened emotions and I was able, that was the only thing I knew to do to soothe them. And probably my family would do that. Here, have a piece of cake, you know. I don't know for sure, but it's possible that that's what happened because they didn't know how to handle a child with super sensitivity levels. So I think we're on to something here. So I am going to tap on my sensitivity level and being told that, oh, I am too sensitive. So what about you? Did something come up for you that you want to go ahead and tap on that relates more specifically to you? Or does this relate to you as well, being super sensitive? Okay, we're going to go ahead and tap on being sensitive. Even though I'm a highly sensitive person, I sometimes choose food to comfort myself, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I was told when I was a kid, oh, you're just too sensitive, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I am too sensitive for my own good, I still deeply and completely accept myself. You're too sensitive, Marianne. I'm too sensitive for my own good. Why am I so sensitive? Marianne. The sensitivity. I am too sensitive and too empathic. I feel others' pain and it bothers me too much. My parents always told me, oh, you're just too sensitive. I'm just too sensitive. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to do another round on this because I haven't quite cleared it. That feeling of what is wrong with me? I'm too sensitive. Okay. Even though I feel like there's something wrong with me because I am too sensitive, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still feel like there's something wrong with me because of my sensitivity level, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel like an oddball in my family because I'm so sensitive, I still deeply and completely accept myself. This feeling of being an oddball because of my sensitivity level, I still feel that I'm weird because I'm so sensitive. I should just toughen up because I am just too sensitive. Come on, toughen up. You're bigger than the other kids. You can take them on. You're just too sensitive, Marianne. The sensitivity is, I'm just too sensitive. I'm really weird because I'm so sensitive. I feel so out of place because I am so sensitive. Okay, well, it feels really good. I've actually feel so much lighter now because I released that. It seems like I just feel that's just a part of me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't feel like I'm an oddball anymore because I'm sensitive or empathic. I don't feel like a weirdo. And I don't feel like I need to suppress and bury my emotions when I feel other emotions. I don't feel I need to suppress that with food. So what we can do is I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted on where we are with that when I come across it in my day, and I'll let you know how successful this tapping was as far as this one issue of being too sensitive and eating when I'm depressed. Okay, there's other emotions that we can deal with, like anger, and we can go ahead and tap on anger. Do you eat when you're angry and when you're furious? We can think about, well, what triggers that anger and what event and when did it first occur in our life where we ate when we were angry, and that will help you to open up to getting at that core issue that is at the base of eating when you're angry. Okay, so we're just going to do a global tapping session right now on anger. Okay, even though I eat when I'm angry, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I eat when I am angry, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I eat when I'm angry, I still deeply and completely accept myself. This eating when I'm angry, I really don't like doing it, but I eat when I'm angry. This eating when I'm angry really makes me angry. Eating when I'm angry only makes me more upset. I eat when I'm angry. 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 It's not safe for me to embrace my anger. Okay, so there was something that came to me right at the end, if you noticed, how anger doesn't feel safe to me. How anger does not feel like a safe emotion, which anger is a safe emotion. Rage is not. It's actually very healthy to feel your anger, acknowledge your anger, then move past the anger. You don't want to dwell in anger. You don't want to have anger control you. You don't want anger to reside in your life all the time. But if you're in a depressed state, for example, let's use this as a range of emotion. If you're in a depressed state, that's here. If you move up into an anger stage, that's a higher level of vibration, which is good because you're moving out of that depression, that helplessness phase, that down and out phase, and now you're angry because anger prompts us to do something better in our lives. It motivates us to move past it. And I'm not talking about anger and directing it toward other people. I'm just talking about it within ourselves. And okay, darn it, I'm going to do something about this. I lost my job. Darn it, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to find a better job. Or I am going to get educated. I'm going back to school. I am going to get my degree. It prompts us and motivates us to move forward in life. But where it doesn't help us is when we get stuck in the anger. Okay? So that's where it's okay and it's safe to embrace the anger. Okay, at that moment and in that time frame. But we want to strive to move past the anger. Okay, and where that came from within me when I was doing my tapping, it was the fear of the rage that's associated with anger. Not me. I didn't see it in me, but I was in a marriage that at times I would see my ex-husband, he would get in these fits of rage and it scared me. And to me, that's just not a safe place. So I'm associating what I was doing in my mind, associating rage with anger. And they're not the same. Okay, so that's what I'm going to tap on and we'll go ahead and do it from there. Okay. Even though I was afraid of anger as an emotion because it made me think of rage, which is not the same, I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I was afraid of anger, it made me think of rage, and it's not the same. I still deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm afraid of anger, as it reminds me of my unhappy marriage, I still deeply and completely accept myself. I was afraid of the emotion of anger. It reminded me of my unhappy marriage. It reminded me of all the yelling in our marriage that scared me. Even though I was never physically abused, that anger and rage in my marriage really scared me. I went to food to comfort myself. I was not comfortable with anger as an emotion because it reminded me of that my very dysfunctional marriage. So anger scared me as an emotion. This fearfulness of anger because it reminds me of my previous marriage. Okay, so tapping on that definitely starts to clear for me some of that anger, suppressing it with food, covering it up because I don't want to acknowledge that anger is a safe emotion, okay? Because it reminded me of unsafe for me because of the verbal stuff that went on in our household when I was married, and it was not good for me. So that kind of you see how it all leads to one thing which leads to another, and then you clear that, and then you're clearing some of your food issues. So hopefully this has helped you. One thing that I would love to tap on is fear. And this is another emotion, so let's tomorrow pick it up with fear. Do you have a fear of being thin or fit or healthy? Do you have a fear of being successful? With your health and fitness goals, being successful in your life? Do you have a fear of success in any form or fashion? Tomorrow you'll want to stick around and we'll definitely tap on that. Okay? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got a lot out of this session as I did. Magical journeys, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.